buddy. I don't know quite how I'd describe you. Mentor as well, Jason Bawden-Smith. How are you, mate?
I'm fantastic. How are you, Cole?
Well, it's sunny in Pottsville, and that's all that matters, man.
Yeah, first pumping.
So it's pumping. With this wind, I don't think it will be. But you know what? I'm so busy, I haven't got down there.
That's unfortunate.
Like to folks watching as to why I might choose you to talk about money. So, just in a brief snapshot, can you give us kind of not your financial credentials, but really what you've done in terms of business, career, work, and where you are at now? Because it's
Sure.
pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah, so from a qualification point of view, I hold two applied science degrees. The first one was in applied science and environmental health, and the second one was a master's degree in environmental science with a toxicology major. So I have a couple of tickets. Um, I went from university into the health department, where I worked a lot on beach pollution. Back in the day, Sydney beach pollution was very badly contaminated. And I won't tell you that story because we'll be here all day, but it's a fantastic story. And then went into other environmental issues, environmental health, the impact of the environment on people. Uh, I soon learned that I wasn't really built for the public service. Like I'd go half pace and still be twice as fast as everybody else, and it would cause some friction. So eventually, I started a PhD and um, found academia to be nearly as bad and as painful as the public service. So after a while, I started my own little consultancy company, environmental consultancy company, and nearly 20 years ago, actually in November, it'll be 20 years ago. Wow, how time flies. I can safely say that I spent years making every mistake, usually twice, just so I got it, sometimes three times because I was a bit slow. I had all the issues that all small businesses have, and I kind of failed forward. It was like, okay, stuffed up, pick yourself up, go again, learn it, and move on. And I've been fortunate enough to attract the right people, the right staff, partners, and I can happily say we're probably the second largest contaminated land company in Australia now. We have over 100 employees across the country, offices in every city, and last financial year, I think we turned over just under $30 million. So not a bad effort from starting in your lounge room.
Yeah, you started it in your lounge room, hey?
Yeah, yeah. So you can probably see behind me, this is our Sydney office. We're in the middle of the city, and this is where I'm talking from now. So, yeah, I had a lot of experience with learning about how to be successful financially, but my focus was always on delivering value. If there's one lesson, one piece of advice I can give to people is business is all about solving problems and providing a service. And to do that with tremendous amounts of value is what you really want to focus on. The money will flow from that. We can go through some money issues. I know you want to talk about money, but I'll let you lead the conversation.
And that's what I was going to say. Like, out of that, that journey, that 20-year journey to building a very successful company, clearly, what would be some of the key tips? And I guess what you're saying there is like the most important thing is to provide value and the money will come. I mean, I've got a quote on my desk that I really like, which is if you want to make $1 billion, help 1 billion people. So would that be like number one? Would that be top of the list? I mean,
without a shadow of a doubt. Like in terms of, you've got to do something you love. You've got to be passionate about it. I've just published a book, which you probably want to talk about. But one of the things I say is your complaint is your call to action. If something that really pisses you off, without a swear, I'm not sure how sensitive your audience is, but
we just did.
If it really upsets you, something that really digs into you, that's a great thing to focus on. because you're going to get up at those on those days that you're tired, you're just not feeling the best. If it's something that you're really motivated about, you'll continue on. You'll get through those hard days, and every business, you're going to have hard days. I don't care what you say. It's never all roses. And the early days are the hardest. So creating value driven by a topic that you're passionate about and something you can make a difference to people, or a product that makes a difference. Yeah, that's what I think you really need. However, there are lots of sabotaging programs that can limit your success no matter how much value you add and how good you are.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, it's not like you wake up tomorrow like I believe I provide really good value to my clients, but it's not like I'm going to wake up tomorrow and then go, yeah, all this value is going to, and then I get on my bank balance. It's not just going to magically look like that, is it?
It's not.
So what paradigm shifts are kind of needed for people to go, even if they're an employee, right? It's the same principle. Like your business is you working for your company.
You need to identify what are the beliefs that are limited to you to begin with. And there are literally thousands that you've been conditioned through your parents, you've been conditioned through school. Church is really good at limiting your worthiness, especially the Christian church. So, if you don't feel worthy, how are you ever going to attract any prosperity?
Yeah, it's massive.
Right?
I mean,
It's massive. So the whole media and society, and even if you look at the way money is used as, the financial economy today is used as a control system. That's what it's used for. So I'm not surprised that not nearly everyone has money issues, because there's so many reasons why you'd have belief problems just from all the conditioning that's out there. So you need to identify what they are. I've got a list I can go through, which is about 5 pages long, that I've been putting together for people, just so it triggers, I've got that one. Yeah, I've got this one. Yeah, I've got that one.
what would be the top 5 that you normally see?
It varies for different people, but I can only talk about me. I don't know what other people have, but my limiting beliefs is I was born on, let's say, the wrong side of the street. So I got to hang out with some pretty nefarious characters. And I then took the belief on that for me to be successful, I had to be a bad person, a criminal, greedy, or just not a good person. And because of that, when I had the opportunity to make money, I couldn't, because I blocked myself because I didn't want to be a criminal. Now, it's all bullshit, right? It's not true, but it was true to me. It was my belief system. So I had to work on that. And it's interesting how quickly things can change when you start addressing the fundamental beliefs. Like, I remember I spent probably 5 years just, kind of beating your head against the wall, trying to make the company successful. And once I realised that it was my limiting beliefs that were holding me back, and I went through a series of activities, some of which I wouldn't do now, but I did at the time, and I broke that. And then within 2 years, I was a multi-millionaire. And I didn't change anything else.
Yeah.
I was still doing the same thing, adding the value, working hard. You've got to work hard and smart. A lot of people think, I'll just work smart, don't have to work hard. Sorry, guys. If you want to be very successful, you have to work hard and smart. The best way to change things is usually when you're under pressure. And I got myself into a situation where I was $380,000 in debt on my mother's property.
Ouch.
So she gave me a line of credit on her mortgage, and the mortgage was for $400,000. There's only 20 grand to go. I've maxed out my credit cards. I'm not paying the bills. I can't, I'm just really scratching around to survive. And I was wholly motivated, because if I didn't fix it, my mother was going to lose a house, end up on the street, or worse, end up living with me. So I had to do something. And instead of looking out there, I started looking in here. I started looking at myself. I said, well, maybe I'm the problem. And I went through a series of I started meditating. I implemented a lot of uh, gratitude, just a general positive attitude. Not that I'm saying you've got to be all love and light and start farting rainbows and burping butterflies. I'm just, it's just like when you walk in and you say hello to someone, when you're greeting. I always say, I used to go, Monday was magnificent, Tuesday was terrific, Wednesday was wonderful, and through the whole week. But if you walk in and say to the secretary, she says, how are you going? You say, I'm sensational. The energy around that word just uplifts everybody, including you. So I went through that. I started something I call the negative bin. It was like a swear jar. Same philosophy. So if the staff said, oh, I haven't got enough time to do that, or that's impossible, or I'll never get there and get back in time to deliver the samples, or I'll be up all night writing the report, all these limiting things while they couldn't do something, they had to put $1 in the negative bin every time. And it was amazing. That was an amazing effect because there were a couple of staff members who were pretty negative and they just got the shits. Right? They just couldn't handle it. So they packed their bags and left. They just couldn't be in that energy anymore. The ones that were kind of on the fence all shifted to the positive, and that shifted the whole office. I never forget contractors would come, new telephone system or whatever contractor was coming to do some work. They'd say, this office just feels so much different to other offices. And they could feel it. It was the JBS vibe, as we used to call it.
So it's actually what you actually did was add value into your workplace. Then, like you created the offer, you added value to the people coming to work for you.
Correct. Correct. I started meditating every day. Now I don't meditate anymore, but I did it for 10 years religiously. I do more of a contemplation now. I found myself going into too much mind-based stuff and I wanted to get back into kind of my heart essence. So I gave that up a few years ago. Not that I'm saying meditation is a bad thing, it's a wonderful thing. That really helped my stress levels, that really helped me just, be more balanced.
But what would you say about these whole things of like, there is a whole, just on meditation, like there's a whole thing of like, okay, well, if I put up a affirmation that says I'm wealthy and I'm happy and money is flowing to me effortlessly and all that. I mean, does that work or not?
Like that, no. Visualizations and affirmations do work, but they have to have an action phase.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like, I'll use a tennis analogy. If you say, I'm going to be, winner of the Australian Open, it's not going to work. But if you can say, I'm going to serve perfectly, I'm going to throw the ball high, I'm going to come, if you describe what's required to get that goal, that really helps. So you want to see yourself serving well, volleying well, doing some good down the line winners. It's a much better visualization than just holding a cup in the air.
Yeah, but you still have to go on the court, right?
Correct. You've still got to take action. It's the biggest thing that the kind of new age, positive thinking people get wrong. The action step is really the most important. You've got to set clear intention. It's really important to set clear intention, but you've got to follow through.
And what about risk, Jace? Because like what I notice is, even just in my personal process, in terms of changing beliefs and stepping up in business and all that sort of stuff, which is linked to that, right? So it's like there's a certain element of risk. Well, this is the way I perceive it. I'd be interested in what you think. But, for me, say to make proposals to potential coaching clients for more money than I'm kind of comfortable with, because my old beliefs were like, I don't have any money. So you know, like, oh, I want to do this, I can't, I don't have any money. So like, why would I want to therefore say, oh, I'm going to charge you this much money to do coaching? Because then I'd end up getting money, and then I'd be like, oh, but that argues essentially is what's going on unconsciously, is this ridiculous dialogue with, well, when money comes in, that argues with my belief, so I have to get rid of it, and I won't even ask for it. So it's like, to come through and go, okay, this is how much it's going to be to work with me, I'm going to value myself and value my time. At that level, it's kind of risky, you know, like, it feels risky, it feels edgy. Like, is that part of it? Like, when you get to 30 million, are you still taking risks? Are you still kind of being edgy, or is it a different comfort zone? What happens?
I think that's individual specific. I like standing on the edge. I'm not standing on the edge, I'm taking up too much room. That's a classic entrepreneur spirit. That's me individually. But you don't have to put yourself in this edgy, risky environment to have money flow naturally towards you. You know, one of the other secrets about being able to attract money is it moves very fast.
Yes.
Right? So, you know, there's literally trillions of dollars floating past me right now. Right? Trillions. But I've got to be quick enough to grab it. And it's those who take, you know, I don't want to use the word action again, but it really is about don't be a daydreamer. Don't sit there and think, oh, I can do this and I can do that, I can do this. Just have a go. Right? Just get up and have a go. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to fall over and you get up and have another go. So it's really important that, you know, we have grown so quickly at JBS&G to take on multinationals. Well, our competitors have 10,000 employees, they're global companies, and we have been so successful because we get things done. Really, we can get jobs completed before they finish the proposal.
Yeah, right.
We're really that quick compared to them. And our clients want that. It's really important for them to have fast turnaround. And hence we have lots of money. Right?
It makes sense, dude.
Yeah, but it sounded like your description before about you still got some money issues. And you know, I was hoping we could do the 3-chair exercise, but it's a bit hard over Skype. But maybe I'm not sure how we can get that to your.
Well, we did it. I did it over Skype before. We can do it if you want. I'll just go from here, and then I'll go over here, and then I'll go over here.
Well, it's a great way to check in to your own personal beliefs about money.
Yeah.
Because you get to have a conversation with money.
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool. So I don't know if you want to do it.
I'll be the guinea pig.
Well, I think everyone should do it every week.
Okay, let's do it. Live on replay.
Okay, so you need 3 chairs, 2 which are opposing each other, like directly opposite.
So one here.
One there.
One here.
And one there. And then one to the side, like where you are there, yeah. So the first chair is you.
This
you
one?
sit in that chair, or you could go that way, doesn't matter which one.
Yeah.
So you are now looking at the other chair. I want you to just take a couple of breaths just to kind of relax and just clear our conversation and just get into the zone, so to speak. And I want you to introduce yourself to Money, who's sitting on the other chair.
G'day, Money. I'm Cole.
Okay, so Money doesn't have a personality. However, it has lots of other attributes, which we'll talk about later. But when you're looking at Money and about to have a conversation, how do you feel?
I've got to say, man, I feel a little bit nervous, actually.
So why do you think you're nervous? Why does Money make you nervous?
Good question. Well, the first thing that comes to my head is actually what you were talking about before about worthiness.
So you don't think you're worthy of money?
Well, like when I look to have that conversation with Money, in this moment, what I'm seeing is not a couple of dollar coins. It's like you know those pictures you see of like all those US banknotes, and they're all like, and these are all $100 notes, and there's stacks and stacks and stacks of them. So I'm seeing like this massive stack of hundreds. So that kind of does actually make me probably essentially like I was describing on that edginess.
So we're going to do this a little bit differently. I just want to bring up one point about money is infinite, right? It's not a zero-sum game. It just goes on forever. Actually, people don't actually know how much money is in the world. No one can tell you how much there is. They really can't. It's 100 trillion plus with all the derivatives and all the other nonsense that's gone on with money printing. No one really knows how much money there is because it's infinite. I want people to think of money like the sun. How much sunshine does the sun have? It has unlimited amounts of sunshine, right? It gets up every day and just beams this magnificent sunshine all through the solar system every day. It's not limited. It's not a zero-sum game. So when you're looking at a big pile of money, that's a fraction of what's available. So don't feel like, don't be intimidated by, oh my goodness, that's too much for me. Because there's more than enough for everybody. It's limitless.
So all those hundreds are just a drop in the ocean.
They're a blip. They're literally a blip.
Yeah, it's interesting, eh?
Yeah, so I know it's not quite how you do the exercise, but hey, we're not in a consultation session. We're on an interview. So you're feeling not worthy about money. I want you just to go back to and look at money again and just feel into that, saying, where's that really coming from? Why does that make me feel like that? Is it something that happened when you were young? Was it something that's happening now?
No, I'm trying to kind of avoid the obvious in a way and go, like I could probably rattle off a couple of quick one-liners, but I'm trying to avoid that in a way.
And it's personal as well, so I get that.
Yeah, but it's, I guess it's not dissimilar to what you were talking about before, is that if you've got lots of money, you must be cheating somehow. So therefore, actually, you're avoiding work, right? Which is, again, ridiculous because when I do have money in the bank, I actually feel heaps better and I'm way more productive. But there's probably another part of it, which is what I do is then go, oh, great, well, then I can afford to get this, this, and this. And I go and, buy my missus a dive because she hasn't dived for 5 years and she loves it. And I thought, oh, yeah, I've got a bit of extra money, I'll buy that. And then I'm like, oh, but then I've got none left. So there's like this sort of saboteur that goes on, and I think maybe even that nervousness is like the worthiness of, I know I'm not ready, like I know I'm not as good as you yet, or something like that.
Well, there's another big sabotage program there because you've got what I call a leaky boat. So it doesn't matter how much you fill the boat up, it leaks straight out, which again is another big sabotaging.
I'm getting better, but I am at least, I know I'm putting money away, which is...
Yeah, but you should be able to buy your wife a car and still have plenty.
Yeah, totally.
And feel like you have plenty, not that, oh, now I bought a car, I've got nothing. It's just not the right way to do it.
Yeah.
I want you to swap seats. I want you to be money now. So money, why do you think Cole doesn't think he's worthy of having you in his life? Is there any reason why he should have that opinion, money?
Yeah, he just needs to get up and get on with it. He's basically being lazy.
Is there anything to do with your money? Are you stopping it?
Not at all. I'm trying to knock on the door.
So you're just trying to help? So you're there to serve Cole in what he wants to do?
Exactly. It's an important message, so I just wish he'd be a bit more, what's the word, go get him sort of stuff. Because it's not like this amount of money, like what you said, is a drop in the ocean. So it's like it's not like it's only going to help. It's only going to help the people that he's going to help. So it's just actually up to him to get up and come and get it. Oof, that's pretty strong.
Okay.
Hmm.
So now I want you to go to the third seat, pretending you've moved backwards. I don't want you to do it because they won't be able to hear you. But that's the observer seat.
Yeah.
So we've had one where Cole sits, one where Money sits, and the other one has just been observing. We've been observing both conversations. Cole's got worthiness issues and leakiness issues and other stuff going on. And Money's sitting there going, mate, I'm here to help. I'm really here to help. Can you just get off your ass and do something? Please, I'm here. I'm ready to help. I'm ready to back you up. I've got your back, Cole. What's going on? So as you're observing that conversation, what's going on?
I think it's like as an observer of that, for me it was like probably like here's two, they're not people, a person and an entity or whatever it is, a thing that
There's two forms of energy, right? The thing of Cole's energy and Money's energy.
Yeah, there we go. So two energies which are trying to meet but are having trouble relating. Like, do you know what I mean? Like one of them's going, come on, man, and the other one's going, you know. So as an observer, I'd be sort of saying, okay, guys, like, is there a middle way? Is there a way to cross this communication bridge? Like, what's needed for you guys to both meet? Yeah.
Okay. So now I want you to get back into Cole's position.
Back here.
Back. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Turn it that way. Back is where you were sitting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you got Money and Cole to collaborate and work together, how does that make you feel?
Oh, supercharged.
Right, so supercharged.
Mm.
So there's no reason why Money and Cole can't work together, right?
Right.
And it makes you feel supercharged. And everything's going to flow and it's all going to come together.
Yeah.
So now I want you to lock that feeling in. I want you to kind of just sit there and lock it in. Spatially, you're doing it anyway from sitting back in Cole's seat. So you are Cole, you're locking that new system in, that new belief structure in. Money and Cole are now working together. They're having a great time. They're getting up. They're having a go. Everything's flowing. They're supercharged. Lock that feeling in.
Yeah.
Okay. Every time I've done this exercise with somebody, within hours, a money thing comes together.
Oh, sweet. I'll keep an eye on my bank account.
Someone will ring for an appointment. Something that wasn't going to go ahead now goes ahead. And it's incredible. Just watch this afternoon what happens. It's a little bit different doing it over Skype and not doing it in person, but I still think it'll work. And I want the listeners or the viewers to do this regularly. Sit down and have a conversation with money. Treat it as a person. It's just an energy form just like you are, right? You're just embodied in this meat bag. and money is still an infinite energy that's there in abundance, just willing to shine, just wants to help. It's a really warm energy, money. If you really get, it's neutral. It's 100% neutral. So all it'll do is amplify what your thoughts, feelings, and actions are. That's all it can do, because it's there to serve. So we need to look at readdressing our relationship with money. And when people ask me, what's my relationship with money? I see money as my best mate. I really see it as a top friend. I mean, it's unconditional. So it'll kick my ass if I'm going into scarcity or lack or inadequacy. And it'll just say, hey, wake up. This is what happens if you do that. And then when I need resources or I need to get things done, it just turns up and just goes, here's everything you need to get stuff done.
It's amazing, eh? It sounds like a miracle, like it sounds unbelievable, but I've felt it, seen it happen to me. I know it's not. Like, it's just like when you first said that, and I was like, and I remember like literally having $100 in my account left and going to the market, to the grocery market with my kids, And so this is the old pattern. Oh man, look, you don't have even enough money to feed your kids, properly, and you've only got $100, and like I knew there was money coming the next day, right? But still, you're like, oh, you hope. So what I did was I went, nah, actually, I'm gonna change that, and I went to the ATM. I got out $100 with so much gratitude that I'd had this money to feed my kids and feed them this beautiful food that I was going to buy from the market, like full of gratitude, and things changed. Like it's like if you look at it's true. Like I don't know when we did that. When would we have done that? 6 months ago?
Maybe even a bit longer.
Yeah. But if you actually literally prove it in figures, you'll see the income going like that, going up.
It's just about respect. Respect money, money respects you. Just like a friend. It's really simple. But if you're going to start projecting all your shit onto money, what is a good friend going to be? Hey, you're projecting shit onto me. Have it back.
Yeah, that's it. Why hang around for all that?
Yeah, so it just amplifies your intention. Everyone uses a sword. Use a flame. Now, I can use a flame to light a campfire, get all nice and warm, roast some marshmallows with the kids, have a nice sing-along. Or I can take that flame and start a bushfire. No, it's not the flame. It's your intentions.
So I'll play devil's advocate, but
Sure.
if I think of some of the ways of making money, like the one that sticks in my head right now would be, let's say, media. Okay, so let's like there's if you're into holistic health, there's reasons maybe to avoid things like fluoride. Okay, because it's basically neurotoxic and toxic to the thyroid and so on and so on. But on the newspaper, on the front page a week or so ago, there's a big campaign to make sure every place in Australia had fluoride in the water because of the teeth thing, right? So let's not enter that debate, but let's say, to me, that's pushing humanity, human family, as you would say, in a way that's not necessarily positive. But selling those papers and selling fear through the media that way, you can't say that it doesn't generate a lot of money. It does, especially for those people who are in charge of those companies.
Money's neutral. If they have their beliefs to make lots of money by selling poisons, they can make lots of money.
Yeah, right.
Money doesn't care. Money's not here to judge. Like, that's you can make shitloads of money working to destroy humanity, and a lot of people do.
So that's a pretty pertinent kind of distinction to make there. So the intention, what's the
Okay. Let me can I
yeah, go.
I can explain it. So we have the media, we have government, we have big corporations, we have other entities which sell this story that you kind of have to be destructive, you have to be greedy, you have to hang on to make money, right? That's the story that they portray, which is the dominant theme in society. Then they use all this conditioning, whether it's, subliminal programs through media, whether it's a whole range of ways to get you to believe that that is the reality. So they want you to believe their reality. Don't. Who said that's the reality that you have to believe? I create my own reality. You can create your own reality. It's really a co-creation. So I don't read the papers. I don't watch the news. I don't listen to any. When the news comes on Triple J, I switch the channel straight away. I don't want to know. I don't want them to condition me into their reality.
Yeah, totally. I get that. I'm exactly the same.
I want to ignore it. Then I want to sit and co-create my own reality. So I'm going to have a conversation with money and deal with my relationship with money. Then I'm going to sit down and say, well, what do I want? What does Jason want? What can I do today, one, for me, it's to how do I contribute back to my human family is really where I'm at now, because I'm lucky I've done so much already in terms of setting up my financial success. So what reality do you want to create? That's what you need to focus on. And you can do that. Ignore what they're saying. And that's what upsets me the most. You get me fired up here, but they use it as a weapon to convince you the only way to make money is to be like them. And I'm here to say that I can have a very deep relationship with myself, with our mother planet, with the creator of this universe, and still make shitloads of money. I can be a good person and be wealthy at the same time. And this is one of the other big programs that is out there. And I'll tell you a little story, right? Because I do a bit of spiritual work, as you know. We're not going to talk about too much about that today, but I got invited when I was over in England, visiting a really wonderful friend of mine. She invited me to come to an event she was running, and she realised she had a lot of female energy, and she wanted me to come just to add some male energy to the circle. Now, I'm talking about, if not some of the most talented, intuitive seers in England. These ladies and gentlemen are really up there. It was an inner circle kind of Christmas event. And I sat there and I contributed, just like I do. And at the beginning, we had to go round and talk about who we are and just give a couple of minute introduction. And I said I was an entrepreneur and businessman and, have a successful environmental company, just as an introduction to describing who I was. And this at the end, right? This is like 8 hours later. It went all day. And all even to the night. And there was chanting and all the kind of new age stuff that goes on. and I just participated fully because, I wanted to help my friend. And this kind of, blonde-haired lady, dressed like those new ages, comes up and goes, basically accused me of being disingenuous. There's no way that you can be such a talented spiritual person and run a company and be so successful in business. And I went, I'm thinking, why not? So I'm thinking, what an incredible question. So here's a woman who just has the cognitive dissonance. She can't relate business and spirituality. They are opposite. They can't exist. They can't coexist. And her belief is so strong that she accuses me of practically lying. So I just gently and nicely tell, here's my business card. Look me up. You can see that I'm telling the truth. So that program about you've got to be someone who's destructive or greedy or harming people with fluoride is the only way you can make money is bullshit. I'm just calling it out.
Well, I wasn't really saying it's the only way. I'm just saying they are making a lot of money by selling scaremongering, right? So the money, you're saying money is neutral and it'll follow the intention. So that's what I'm really saying. Are they just jumping up and grabbing those trillions quicker than we can and deceiving people and it doesn't really matter, or?
It's nothing to do with deception. Their relationship with money is great. Money doesn't care if you're harming or doing good. It's not money's decision to do that. It's just a tool, right? It's just a neutral energy that's there to serve the relationship it has with the individual.
Yeah, right.
So you want to be a criminal, you can make shitloads of money, right? That's no problem with that. Money doesn't have a problem with that at all. Money doesn't judge.
Nice. So let's take it right back to people watching this. We've got into some pretty interesting spiral there, an interesting fractal. Tomorrow when I wake up and I remember watching this, give me the top 3 things I can do to improve my relationship with money.
Understand who money is, right? Money is just an infinite energy that's there to serve your intentions. So how are you relating with it? That would be my number one. And I'd recommend other things that aren't really to do with money per se, it's just to do with you. I think a lot of people could start doing work on worthiness, just saying, I am worthy. I am worthy of everything plus more. But people have a real struggle to say that. Yeah, so I'd focus on worthiness. I'd focus on your relationship with money, to do with money. And the third thing is, I'd say, okay, what are the top 3 things I can do before 10 o'clock? We're going to put more abundance in my life. And that could be different for different people. But let's do them before 10 o'clock. The top 3 things.
Yeah.
So the action part.
Yeah, the action. Yeah, understanding, working on self, and then taking a step basically towards that, to be that in the world.
Yeah. And part of the abundance thing may be going for a surf, because you just need to chill out. You've been too stressed. The kids have been driving you crazy, whatever. You need time to play. Don't underestimate the importance of play. That inner child that we have has been ignored for a long, long time. We need to bring it back. We need to embrace it. We need to incorporate it in our lives.
Yeah, I don't have too much of a problem doing that. I went out and skated pretty much most of yesterday morning with my son, and by the end of the day, I had 3,000 extra in my account. How's that?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, and don't be surprised how money can just appear. You go, I don't know how that happened, but say thank you. My relationship with money is now flowing.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man. And these concepts we've been sort of jamming on and talking about, you're about to publish your book, and you've launched your website, jasonbawden-smith.com. Are these some of the things you talk about in your book, or has that got a different slant?
No, it's a big part of the book. The book's called Have Your Cake and Eat It Too. So many people say, well, you can't be a spiritual person and have money. You can't, have science, and you can't have religion. You can't have this, you can't have that. All bullshit. You can have both. So it's a book really about abundance as a theme, but it's really about how playing on purpose leads to prosperity in life and business. So I never wanted to write a book, Cole. I'm quite happy being who I am and doing what I do. I don't need to be this, celebrity status or have have a lot of people listen to me. But a lot of people like yourself have been asking me to speak.
Yeah.
And put my story on paper. So I did. It's now finished. It's going to be released on October 19th as a Kindle, and a week later as a paperback. I pretty much wrote this for conscious entrepreneurs, business owners, executives, kind of people looking to combine their business skills or their life skills with a more meaningful sense of purpose in life. Because the part of money we didn't talk about is I know a lot of rich executives and people who feel like they've sold their soul.
Yeah, right.
Because they're working for the people who are doing the damage, and they feel like they've lost their purpose in life.
Yeah, right.
So they come with all this guilt and all this there's the other side as well. Right? There's a lot of people out there, some of which you might be listening today, who are just going, I'm getting paid shitloads of money, but I'm just not happy, and I don't think I'm contributing to this planet and to humanity like I'd like to. Because they think there's only one way, working for the tapeworm economy, as we call it. There's another way, and I'm a living, talking, walking example of being able to do both, and I'm hoping the young entrepreneurs can read it or just understand that you can actually, you can make lots of money. We've cleaned up tens of thousands of properties with contamination. We've really made a big impact of cleaning up this country, Australia. So you can do it all. and that's why I wrote the book. It's very vulnerable, very raw, very me. I go into some amazing stories about how I started JBS, including the beach pollution and the lead and a couple of other stories. I talk about my core values, which are HAIL, which is honesty, authenticity, integrity and love, how that relates to business. My core values aren't the same as yours, but if you stay true to your core values, then you find your passion. Then you find your fundamental purpose for being here and being able to contribute back. So you want to be able to find your core values. I talk about, I see philanthropy and business being the same thing. And people nearly choke when I say that. I'm saying philanthropy is the love of human beings. And at the heart of any business I've done, and the heart of true business, it's not about profiting. Like, it's an important part. You've got to make money, otherwise you go out of business. But it's about adding value and improving people's lives. So if I'm improving people's lives and adding value, I'm loving human beings.
Yeah, totally.
So business can be used for social good. Like, I know some people are going, oh, but Exxon Valdez caused all that bloody problems and all those oil spills and rah, rah, rah. Hey, I used to see them as the enemy. Now they're a client. Right? You can IKEA the situation. And things are changing. Things are really changing. So there's a lot more in the book, which I won't go through now. I don't want anyone to buy the book just because I've written one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put probably chapter 2 up for free, which is a really good chapter about the birth of JBS, and you really get the sense of me. And if you like that and you resonate with that, then you can buy the book. I'm not here to sell anything, right? I'm here to add value, and if they like that free chapter, then they'd probably like the rest of the book.
Yeah, nice. So we're not going to get like 1,000 webinars into our inbox? Special offer, Jason Bawden-Smith.
No, if you get a webinar, you'll get a video like this about the relationship with money, and it'll cost you nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you'll get.
Add value, but that free chapter is going to be on the website just so people can access. Yeah.
Just go to my name, Jason Bawden-Smith, BAWDENSMITH.com, and it'll be all there. By the time this goes live, it'll be up and running. So they can get that chapter there, and if they like it, they can pre-order the book and get it delivered. And I will have lots of good surprises for those who get the free chapter, because I really want to share some of the stuff I know and provide the value. And if enough people say, oh, I really want you to do a webinar on money and get really into detail on the subject, maybe I'll put that up. And obviously if I'm doing videos and running all that, I'll probably have to charge something for it. But apart from that, it's going to be as much as possible free.
Yeah, awesome. It's almost like you're living your own philosophy there, bud.
Well, I've got to be authentic, right? I can't write a book about being authentic and not follow through, otherwise it'd be a total hypocrite. I painted myself into a corner, Cole.
Yeah, that's it. Awesome, bro. It's been awesome chatting, and thanks so much for taking the time out to teach us and me about your views on money. And I think I'll be waking up different tomorrow. I'll run out and check my bank balance, bud.
Excellent. Thanks, Cole, and thanks to all the viewers. I wish you well, and practice the relationship with money little exercise we did.
Yeah, that was gold, because I thought that I only had to do that once, but actually every day.
At least every week or every month. It's a regular thing. You just need a tune-up.
Awesome. Thanks, Jace.